I made earlier.
Here's one I made earlier.
Here's one I made earlier.
Here's one I made earlier. Here's one I made earlier.
Here's one I made earlier.
Hello Blue Peter fans, and today we're doing a special interesting video. Now you're probably wondering, Tom, why do you look like you're trying to hide something? Well, I'm trying to hide the interesting article that today's video is based about. But before I do that, I'd like to say the intro you just saw is a draft intro. If you know where I can best find more versions of classic presenters, not current presenters or more new presenters, saying here's what I made earlier, please let me know, because I've tried and looked everywhere, and you would think as a catchphrase it would be easy to find, but really it's not. So if you can help me find more here's one I made earlier, then that would be appreciated. Today is an interesting video because interesting for the point of why, as in why is it that size, not why is it there, because why is it there is amazing, but why is it that size. I am on about a book. Before we go any further, I am on about a book, so why is it that size is the thing you should ask yourself throughout this whole video. Why is it that size? Well, here it is. It's by Richard Marson, who I interviewed last year. It's called Blue Peter, Inside the Archive. Now, my main gripe about this, before we get any further, is that it's paperback. I prefer hardback, because I don't like how it's, I don't know if you can see very well, but I don't like how it becomes all wonky. So that's my only gripe about this to begin with. Second gripe is, why is it this size? Look. Why is it that size, like that thick? Why? I understand the concept of the book and what's inside it, but why is it that size? I mean, it does make the book even more, well, you fit more in it because you've got like more real estate with pages, but look. So if you go towards the end of the book, right, you can see photos of the gang when Connie Hook went around. Matt Baker is in the back of it. Now I'll read you the back of the book. It is going to become really hard to show you what's inside the pages it just turned out. We'll read the back of the book. Richard Marson worked on Blue Peter for 10 years. 4 of them as editor. In that time he directed more than 100 films, editing over 500 editions of the programme, winning a BAFTA and casting 3 presenters, 2 cats, a dog, a gardener. He's also devised and exclusively produced BBC 4's children's TV on trial, The Kid's Verdict. So that is a young photo of Richard Marson. He looks today, when you look at him now, looks like he hasn't aged today. He might just grown slightly. Well, grown since that photo because he's tall. That photo makes him look small. This is the front cover. Let me just that's the front cover. Now, because this is inside the archive, let me just go to the first, no, the index. What I'm after. Let's go to the index. Come on. Let's go to the index. Right. So you have acknowledgements to the front, as you do. Now, I don't think, right, and I thought you did, well, could be wrong, you don't have an index, which is fantastic for this video, because it means I can't actually, right, so, for instance, we have this page, yep. Now, this book, that was a poor example because I couldn't actually show the page properly. I do apologise. So basically this book goes into the archive of Blue Peter. And what I mean by into the archive, I mean like, so we've got photos of the presenters, photos from the different activities they got up to. We have, so this page here, let me read you a bit of this. Director, Ian Russell. Film director, John Adcock and Tim Byford. Okay, right. And then the next bit is original film sequence, exit on B1. A Baby Lion Cub, a giant postcard album unveil. So this is these are the directions from the directors. And then we have front end title of Jackanory. And then watch Snap Clock. Pugs for tomorrow's Jackanory. Pugs for the first story from Russia after Blue Peter. The Time Clock and Globe announcement BBC One. And now for the first glimpse of Tales from Europe. Title and film. And it goes on and on. Now, these are like the directions of just interesting tidbits throughout the time of Blue Peter. Let me get you to another one. Oh, here you go. At 09.0568, the story of Colonel. Then you have 27.05.68, Captain Cook 1. Let me find another page to read you another thrilling example. I say thrilling is because it's the thrill of finding out what page I'm going to choose. Here we go. Director Michael Turner, film director Sally Fraser. I just wanted to read that out because I wanted to say well done. As in, we need to always remember the behind the scenes. Now, so this book is massive, right? I'm not going to read any more pages because you can read it for yourself. But this page is massive, and it says, I'll read you the blurb to help with this review because I've not been able to choose the pages properly because the book is too big and then the angle of it didn't really look right on camera. I've read you some of the pages, so you've got some insight what the book looks like. I've tried to show you the photos that I've attached to it in black and white. But now, I'm going to read you the blurb so that it rounds off this. Technically, it's a review. It is a review. So I'll tell you my opinions once I've gone through the book itself, okay? Right, so it says, Blue Peter is the world's longest running children's programme. It is, in the world, right? Second longest running children's programme in the entire world is the Australian version of Play School. Blue Peter is actually named the name of the flag traditionally lowered 24 hours before a ship sets sails on a new voyage. The show's creator, John Hunter Blair, chose the name because he thought that each edition should be setting off on a new voyage. He had no idea how from this ship would sail or that it would become a cultural phenomenon in its own right. Since its first show on the mission on the 16th of October 1958, there's been over 44 editions since this book. Well, when this book was written, there was 444 editions, but since then, I don't have that fact or statistic, but there will have been more. 54 presenters and a whole emergence of pets, right? So 54% is incorrect now, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Sheeny is the 48th presenter. Among this many impressive statistics, Blue Peter has become one of the finest and most exciting archives in broadcasting history. Its producers holding and retaining material at the time when the usual practice was junk and destroy material. Yes, that's why we have more of the 60s stuff. We don't have many of the 50s stuff, we have more of the 60s stuff. Now, my opinions on the book before we round off this So I think my only issue with it is the size, right? I like it, but I just don't know why it's this big. Second gripe, paperback. I prefer hardback, but I don't know if hardback would have made this more heavier, because when you put this down you hear a massive thud. What I like about it is that it's really insightful. It's an incredible, insightful read, and I think it just goes through the archive really well. So you're learning whilst you're reading. I think the photos in it are really interesting to see, because we do have photos of the 50s stuff, but we don't really have many photos of the... Well, we know photos of everything else, but I do quite... There's a section in it where you've got signatures from the inspirations, and I really think that's a nice and an interesting touch to it. I do think this is a one for beloved Blue Peter fans. So, there you have it. That was my brief review of Blue Peter Inside the Archive by Richard Mawson. Thank you guys for watching. Time on to act. Bye! Here's one I filmed earlier!